Hello! We'll wait for people to show up. I don't really have much to show anyway. Okay. It's cold. My lighting's yellow. It's cold. I hope it's warm where you are. It is not warm here. It's quite cold. Today is Saturday, December 2nd. Is it December 2nd? Or is it the 3rd? Is it December 2nd or December 3rd? Holy crap, Is it December 2nd or December 3rd? I don't know. I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me? 4 people, can you hear me? My microphone's on. Can you hear me? December 2nd. Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Lori. I knew it was December. But I knew it's December. Because the people who didn't like my Christmas tree being up have their Christmas trees up now. Alright, so December 2nd, it is a Stitch-a-thon at Cross Stitch Finish Line. Oh, and I'm working on map of Hawthorne Hollow. It's cold. I'm still in my pajamas because it's the weekend and we're not doing anything. And I've been wearing a hat, so my hair's all, I have like major hat head going on, but whatever. So I'm working on map of Hawthorne Hollow. I'm hoping to finish the hawk this weekend. This is what I have done. So the wing is all done up to here. That's that. And I have a bit more to do on the bottom and the hawk will be done. So I am quite pleased with the progress on that. Because I did slow down quite a bit with this project. I am using different I didn't even introduce or anything. Hello everybody, I'm Abby. Welcome to Bella Stitch. Right, welcome to my channel. Thanks for hanging out. I'm working on Map of Hawthorne Hollow by Carriage House Samplings. If you can hear the background music, that's live. But anyway, I'm having so much fun. Oh, this is 36 count ale by Picture This Plus, and I'm stitching 2/2, and I'm using over dyed cottons and silks. And I might need a minder, sorry, annoying. And I stitch row by row. I don't stitch 1x at a time. And I'm gonna get on a soapbox right now. I really wish people would stop telling other stitchers that they have to stitch 1x at a time when they're using an overdyed. You don't. You don't. Stitching 1x at a time is one method. Stitching one row at a time is another method. Stitching in a spiral is another method. Stitching where you... Oh, how do I demo this? There is a method where like you separate the strands and you take this end and put it in with the other end. That's another method. There are different methods to stitching. There's not one correct one. So yeah, you do what you like best. And that's it. This is how I stitch. It's one way. It's not the only way. It's one way. So that's it. Soapbox over. So yeah. And stitching on that. The hawk is the veggie parts is Parchment General Arts, and the rich brown is Picnic Basket, also by General Arts. The black is Blackbird. Who does Blackbird? Is that General Arts also? I think it's also General Arts or Classic Colorworks. Crescent Colors? I don't know. And then there's another brown. I don't know what that is. I can't remember what it is. And then the gold and this white. It's not really white. It's Lemon Cream by HDF. This one. And then the gold is, I think, Gold by HDF. And then the trees are HDF and Gassed, I think. And then the water is Silken Colors. I forget the number. But yeah, and then 2/2 on 36 count ale, which I really like. So that has been my main project so far. In my last video, which was in October, I showed 15 Halloween projects that I was gonna work on. Hi Angela! I was gonna work on 15 projects for Cowgirl Kate's, 13 for Halloween, and then I added 2 more, because why not? Hi Lisa! And I started a grand total of 0. Nothing. I have lost the urge to start something new. Clutch your pearls. I don't want to start anything new. I don't know why. I've been working on my whips. My other whip that I'm going to show you is... Oh, I don't have the chart here. It's downstairs. Is... What is this thing called? Paradigm Revisited by Long Dog Samplers. It is on 36 count vintage country mocha, and I'm using I just said 36 count vintage country mocha, and my floss is Dragon Toes. Oh, you can't, it's backwards. Dragon Toes by HDF. I'm using 1 strand regular over 2, and I will mix in some 1 strand premium as I work on it some more. So this is a companion piece to Paradigm Lost and Paradigm Revisited. I finished Paradigm Lost. I'm still working on Paradigm Revisited, and they're roughly 350 by 350, something like that, 360 something by 350 something. So this is what I have done so far. Look what I did. I did 2018 on the bear. So I better finish this in 2018. The color looks better like that. And then again, I don't stitch 1x at a time. And you can still see the variegation quite well. The reason why I don't stitch 1x at a time is because when I do that, my tension gets all weird and my stitches start leaning in the direction that I'm traveling. So if I'm going left to right, my stitches start leaning to the right. And then when I go right to left, then they start leaning to the left, and it looks weird. And I don't like it. So I just do rows at a time. Now obviously if you have a rainbow floss, that method will not work. Let's see, if my floss was I guess I don't, oh. If my floss was this, then yeah, I would have to stitch it 1x at a time or fussy cut it. Knowing me, I would fussy cut it and still do rows at a time versus just anything. Do not have to do 1x at a time. Yeah, oh, actually, no, I don't even fussy cut, because this is another project. This is Gloriana Seaweed. And the floss goes from purple to green. And I did not stitch it 1x at a time. Oh, there you go. Color right there. And you still see the variegation. Yeah. There have been a few instances where the variegation got muddled. So I just fussy cut it. But that's rare. I mean, I've rarely had to do that. So that's Gloriana Seaweed 2/2 on 32 count. And it's fine being stitched by rows. Like, that's my back. See, I do all my backs look like that with a focus up and down lines. Also stitching that way, I don't know, it's messy. I always have a way to tuck my threads in. Oh, this is so messy. I've been using the pin stitch, diagonal pin stitch, But I have been leaving, oh crap. I've been leaving longer tails so I can tug on it. Because sometimes that bottom leg of the diagonal pin stitch gets all wonky. I don't know why. Does anybody else have that problem? It gets so wonky. Oh, Glenna, I'm so jealous. It's gloomy. It's cold. But we're not doing car stuff, so that's okay. I want to make sure I'm not cutting where I traveled, because that would suck. Alright. I just lost that last message. Oh. 51 degrees. Oh, that's not warm. 51's not warm. It's warmish. Alright. And then my next project is Pelican. AKA Bird on a Burrito. AKA... yeah, the 30s is gonna suck. AKA Crazy Pie. Sadie is calling this Crazy Pie. Excuse me. I am stitching this also on 36 count fabric, which I coffee dyed, and my floss is all tangled up. My floss is Chocolate Caramel by Thread Gatherer Silken Colors. That's what I've done. Yay! So that's the whole width of it. This is on a fat half. It's a fat half. 36 count. So she's big. Brienne over there is on a fat half. 32 count. This is fat half 36 count. It's coming along quite well. This is page 1. Page 1 is all done now, finally. This is the start of page 5. And across the top is pages 1 to 4. I don't stitch per page either. I just, not to be contrary or to go against the norm, like, let's pretend, I'll try to explain how my brain works. Let's pretend that the page cuts off here. And then I would have this dangling on the next page. That would drive me nuts. So I would finish that. Like how I stitch this, I stitched all this top part, made my way across here, and then I stitched the eyeball, and then traveled my way down here to the beak. It makes more sense to me that way, and I can read the pattern better if I stitch like that. So, yep. There she is. There's Bob. And that's all I have. Can you believe that? That's all I have. I don't have anything else. Yes, I stitch everything on a Q-snap. I'll show you. Here's my Q-snap. I'll put Hawk Run back on a Q-snap. I basically, so Hawk Run is on an Yeah, it'll crush the stitches, but they'll plump. I'm doing it again. I'm sorry. To those not watching live, Lisa K asks, do you stitch large pieces like that in a Q-snap? Does it crush your stitches? Yes, almost everything is in an 11 by 11 Q-snap. Sometimes I'll make this wider depending on the area I'm stitching. Like when I'm stitching on Pelican, I make an 11 by 20 Q-snap because I'm traveling down the beak. But for this, I'm finishing the wing. So I know that I need to have this bit exposed. So what I do is I stitch in the well, and I will demo what I mean by that. Yeah, I wish I had a tripod so you can see how I assemble it, but hopefully it will make sense in a little bit. Oh, try not to get my stuff all tangled. Yeah, these don't need to be here. All right. So and then I don't get too worried if my fabric is not on straight on the Q-snap. It's not a big deal. I know my stitching is straight. It doesn't have to be straight on the Q-snap. I know that drives some people nuts. So like, you need to set it up how you like it. Because sometimes I can't move forward if something's bothering me, and then I would need to fix it. So okay, almost done. Hang on. Okay. So this is how my Q-snap is set up. It is inside. Most people stitch here. This is their top. Mine is underneath. So my stitches are always inside the frame. And then I'm clamping on the unstitched area. And I just fold the fabric, so it's like that, and then I fold it over and I clamp, so my margin covers that stitched area. And there you go. And if for some reason I can't do that, like if I'm working on a massive piece of fabric like my winter wildlife, I use a piece of flannel or some, God, is it felt? I use soft fabric, flannel or felt. This is like my baby's old blanket, like a burp blanket. I cut it in strips. And I use that in between the stitching and the Q-snap. So this flaps around, which can get annoying. So what I've done is I get a needle minder and then I use that to clamp it down, and then, or I've used like the little hair clips, but the needle minder works. I swear I had more here. And they hold the fabric away. And then if it's a big bundle of fabric like this, you can just roll that up. Roll it up and then needle minder or a hair clip. But if your needle minders have rare earth magnets, then it should be just fine. When I used to sell needle minders, I only used rare earth magnets, so they will hold, like that's a thick wad of fabric, and they'll hold it just fine. And then the same with the loose bits. I don't use a grime guard. I didn't like it. I bought one from Trisha. It was very pretty. It was really nice, but I didn't like it. So these bits I would clamp with a clip, which I left downstairs. So yeah, and that's how I work. It's not usually that messy. I try to limit to 3 needles, and I'm forever counting how many are there. 3 needles for a multicolor project, and then 1 needle for a single thread project, because I have dropped a needle before and didn't notice it because I had freaking 10 needles on my project, and my husband found it on the floor, so that's not good. So yeah, and then when I'm working, I use my Lowry, so I try to leave some margin here. Oh, here's another thing, why I stitch in the well. So the Lowry clamps here, and then when I flip it, I can still slide my needle to tuck my ends in. Now if this was my back, you can't, you have to wait later. Nell and baby, hi! Nell's pregnant, guys. If you didn't know, I just told you. I hope that was okay, Nell. You should go watch Nell's video. Her belly bump is so cute. She's so cute. Now you look so cute pregnant. It's adorable. But yeah, so I have more. I just blurted that out like an idiot. That's not nice. I'm sorry. But yeah, I'm so excited for Nell. So cute. But yeah, whether you're working with a stand or not, stitching in the well leaves more exposed fabric in the back, and then you can tuck your ends in your stitches. So yeah, and it's not a process to take it apart. Like, this is what I like about the Q-snaps. You just unclamp, unclamp, clamp, clamp. Not a big deal. Not a problem. I don't have to lay it out on the floor. I don't have to make sure everything's straight. That's my biggest concern about getting scroll rods, because I'll just slap it in there, and then when I roll it up, it'll be all wonky, and that would drive me nuts, and then setting it up would take too long. Well, I guess initially, and then you get used to it, and it doesn't matter anymore. Right? Does that make sense? Am I making sense? So yeah, that's what I've been doing. That's it. I've been working, switching careers is challenging. It's not difficult. Like, the work itself is not difficult, but I am slow, so I need to work more to get better at what I'm trying to do, be able to do it more efficiently and make more money. The other thing I've been doing is going through all my magazines and sorting which projects I want to work on. So it's been mostly ornaments, and I have changed my mind a lot on a lot of ornaments, which I guess it's not really surprising, because I've changed my mind on big projects a lot. So like for the 2016 ornament, I tagged this one and this one. That's Prairie Schooler, and I think this is Country Cottage. That's 2006. And then for 2008, what did I tag? I tagged, oh yeah, that one's cute. I tagged I do this when I'm tired and like don't want to stitch and make mistakes, so I just leaf through the magazines. I tagged that, and what's the other one? And obviously it's too late to start any of these, but who says you can only do ornaments in December? What's the other one? Oh, here, this one, Let It Snow. That one. That one's cute. And then, I don't know, that's all I've been doing. Just going through all the magazines and sorting it out. And then also making sure I don't have any more duplicates. And I still owe packages to people. Dina, half stitch, cross stitch. I still haven't gotten to the post office. Nina Needle Worker, I still haven't gotten to the post office. And Sim Swank, I still haven't gotten to the post office. Oh Lord, yeah. So, but I did narrow down. Did I tell you I narrowed down what I'm sending to the Big E next year? I'm sending Brienne. I'm sending Thread Gathering by LHN, and I'm sending Adam and Eve. I can show you those. Hang on. Please hold. Alright, I'm not sure exactly where they are, so I just grabbed everything. So this is, alright, here, I did want to talk about this one also. Here is Adam and Eve by Permin. It is on 40 count. Hang on, too far away. It's on 40 count. Oh, cream Zweigart, Newcastle, with 1 strand crushed berries by HDF. I was able to borrow this chart. It's right now making its rounds at Sample World. Bethany Gallant was nice enough to loan the chart out. Her mom Joanne stitched a kit, and so Joanne stitched it first. I stitched it second. When that was done, I did a raffle and Booma stitched it next. It took me a long time to stitch this because life, and it is a complicated chart. It is very easy to make a mistake, and this is a big project. This is 40 count. Look how big the fabric is. It's not something you just churn out. Although Booma churned her out in like under 2 months or something. Sin, oh, what's her last name? Williamson, I think, is stitching it right now. And people are driving me crazy because every time she posts a picture, there's always one person at least who passive aggressively, sometimes not so passive aggressively, tells her to stitch faster because people are waiting. Don't do that. Like, Sin posted her first photo and she's like, I'm not sure of my thread choice. Should I change it? And someone was like, no, don't change it. Don't, because you'll have to start over and people are waiting. It's like, are you out of your damn mind? Freaking wait. And I get upset because it took me forever to stitch this and no one bothered me. No one whined. No one complained that I was taking too long. They were like, every time I posted a photo, it was just positive, great progress. It looks awesome. You're stitching while having 3 children and traveling and blah, blah, blah. It was always positive. And then this poor lady is getting annoying posts, annoying comments on her photos, and I don't know, just be nice, people. That's it, last rant. I will try to make that my last rant of the day, of this episode. And then my other one that I am taking to the biggie is thread gathering. I started this in 2008. I finished it last year. I made some changes. As you can tell, it says cotton wool silk. So the blue is cotton, old blue jeans, I think. The wool, this ecru is wool. General Art Simply Wool in ecru. And the red is silk HDF. Old Maid of the Heart. And then the needles are Petite Treasure Braid. So I thought that looks cool. It looks cute. And my tension didn't really change much. Between 2008 and last year. So this was my first finish of last year. That's the back. So the top part I tried to stitch last year. You see this row, the inside, the second row of stitches, I tried stitching them this way so I could stitch it one at a time without leaning. And that one, the tension on that is a bit off. So hopefully I won't get penalized too bad for that one. This might not win a blue ribbon, but that's okay. The blue ribbon I'm aiming for. Yes, Liz. Liz says my sister lives in Springfield. Chat. And goes to the Big E every year. I'll have to visit her just to see your pieces. You should. The Big E is fun. You know, fair, bad food, good exhibits. The Creative Arts building is really nice. Very few stitching, lots of quilts, and then the big winners are in a different area. They're still in the same building, but they're closed off, like completely behind glass, which I only discovered this year. Last year we went, I didn't see that area. So I don't know who won Grand Champion last year. This year I saw. I have videos and photos on my Instagram and Facebook if you're interested. But yeah, so I'm joining the Big E, and then Map of Hawthorne Hollow will join Topsfield Fair. The Big E, you have 3 years to submit your entry. Like, it should be finished within 3 years of the fair. Topsfield, they want your piece done. Sorry, they're playing music downstairs. With Topsfield, the requirement is the project needs to be finished within 12 months of the fair. So the fair is in October. Submission is September. I have 9 months to finish 3 projects. I'm insane. My husband says I should finish Map of Hawthorne and Farms of Hawthorne and enter those. I'm like, it's not happening. I'll do map and then 2 small things because I can't. If that's all I did, then yeah, sure, I can do that. But there are chores, there's work, there's traveling. We won't be traveling as much next year, but there will still be some traveling. So all that plays into it. It's not like I can stitch 10 hours a day. I would love to, but there you go. Oh, here, I'll show you. Oh, Yvonne, are you here, Yvonne? So the Georgia EGA or the Sampler Guild. Something. They're doing red samplers. And Yvonne the Night Owl Stitcher picked Provence Sampler by Told in a Garden. Here's my Provence sampler. This one was my... It's not my first sampler, that's a lie. My first sampler I did in 7th grade. This is my first overdyed, my first silk, and my first opal fabric. So this was before I thought well, no, that's not true either. I know samplers should be more primitive style, but I saw this floss. It is not showing up well. It's Monsoon by Water Lilies. And I wanted the sampler to sparkle like water. So I chose opal fabric and Monsoon, which you can't tell. You can't even tell that it's sparkly fabric. Sort of. Over there. So yeah, I did it in 2005. I picked this after seeing the MLI finished project at Golden Thread in Rochester, New York. And that project was massive. I think it was done with Karen watercolors, the thick one, because that was like for sure at least on a fat half of fabric. It was massive. This is 32 count, fairly small. He finished in 2005, still not framed. McKenna is having a heart attack. So yeah, that's all I have. I don't really... Oh, here we go. Oh, I need to make this into an ornament. I showed my ornaments on Instagram. I don't think it's there anymore. Here's one I need to finish. I forget which issue, magazine issue this is from. And look at my perfect backing fabric. I mean, are they meant for each other or what? So yeah, I need to turn that into an ornament. I have stitched the reverse of this twice. So I can't think of words. What's that called? Negative, Glenna, thank you. So the negative space was stitched on the other version. Lisa K asks, I am having a hard time deciding between DMC and silk for my first reproduction sampler. I'd like to start January 1st. What is your advice? Depends on the color. That's it. It depends on the color. Silk comes out richer, more dense, more saturated. Cotton is more muted. So it depends on the effect you're trying to produce. Yeah, it depends. Use what you like. Because it's going to be on your wall, you're going to be the one looking at it, and more importantly, you're going to be the one working on it. So use what you like. Nothing will slow you down more than a project you don't like. DMC, oh, sorry. Lisa asks, do you think you can get good coverage with DMC 1/1 on 40 count? It depends. I will show you an example. If I can find it. It's not here. If you are stitching with black, no. I'm gonna say no. Where's my Mary Mac? I had stitched Mary Mac initially 1/1 on 40 count. There it is. 1/1 on 40 count with DMC, and I didn't like the coverage. I ripped it out, and her dress is not 1/1, 1/2 with HDF silk, and I still don't like the coverage. Focus, come on. Yeah, I don't like the coverage. So I restitched it. But that's for black, solidly stitched. And then it's fine here. So it really depends what you like. It depends on if working on this up close is gonna drive you nuts. Which is my issue now with Village of Hawthorne Hollow. Yes, you have to try, because it also depends on the fabric. If your 40 count shrank more than usual, then you'll be able to get away with dense stitching with 1/2 with like black, because then it's not really 40 anymore. It'll be like 42. At the same time, this is 40 count, 1/2 silk, and it's just fine. What other examples do I have? Hang on, let's see. Do I have other 40 count stuff here? That's not 40 count. That's not 40. That's not 40. I don't have anything else. That pumpkin is 2/2 on 32 count, and the coverage was fine. Do you have any? Lisa asks. No, don't do that. Have you any experience with a Versois silk? No, I don't. Nicole does. Nicole's needlework. You should check her out. Because she uses a Versois. I've never used them. I had some. I sold them because I had other silks that I need to use up. Which I guess is a mistake. I should have tried at least one, right? But no, I have never tried a Versois. What are the other 40 count projects? Are they all whips? I guess they're all whips. Let's see. Hang on. That's 40. I'm trying to get all my 40 count stuff so you can see the difference. Oh, duh, it's right here. This one is 40 count. This is Death by Cross Stitch. Oh wait, no, if it's a sampler, I wouldn't worry so much with the coverage. Because, well, no, that's not true either. It really depends on the design. Like this is 40 count, 1/2. It's okay. This one is another 40 count, dark floss on light fabric, and that one is okay too. Ufendel. Oh no, that should be okay. 1 strand over 2 on 40 should be okay, because it's not dense. I'll show you another example. This is just how my brain works. It's not a rule, but something to think about if you're curious. So, Pelican and Long Dog, both 36 count, both 1 color. Pelican is stitched with 2 strands over 2 because it's dense. The design is dense. It relies on the picture appearing with how it's charted. It relies on the play with the negative space and the stitched areas. While that's the same with the Long Dog, it's more, the motifs are open, and then although you have densely stitched areas like this, the overall design is still fairly open. And the design is the stitched area, not the negative space. Does that make sense? So with the Ufendel sisters, as long as the shapes show up, I think you'll be fine with 1/2 40. Whether you choose cotton or silk, that's up to you. I think you'll be okay. And it's a beautiful design. And it's one of those things where I don't think you can do it wrong. Like, does that make sense? I feel like I'm doing a crappy job expressing my thoughts and opinions on this. But yeah, it really... thank you. So I hope you enjoy stitching it. That's the biggest thing. Oh wait, I have... It's downstairs. If you check my Instagram... Did I post it there? It really depends on the look you're going for. I stitched reindeer ornaments for my kids, and I wanted it to look light and lacy looking, so it was on 28 count. I stitched 1 strand because I wanted it to be light and not, yeah, I wanted it to look kind of sepia toned, faded kind of thing. So the 1 strand over 2 on 28 count I thought looked really cute. So yes, try it out. Check the dominant color and stitch like a small something on the fabric you plan to use, and see if you like that. See if you like the look, and see if you like stitching with it. Because I know some people don't like stitching 2 strands over 2 on 36 count. They don't like it. I like it. So yeah, like the professor says, stitch what you like, love what you stitch, and stitch what you love, because otherwise it's never gonna get finished. If you hate every moment you spend with it, it's never gonna get finished. So yeah, that's all I have. 3 projects and a lot of babbling. I'm gonna go and start prepping dinner. I'm making empanadas. Alright, there are very, very few rules to cross stitch. Rule number 2, ABC, always bring cross stitch. Rule number 3, stitch what you love what you stitch. Rule number 4, all your X's should go the same direction. Whether the bottom leg goes this way or that way, it just all has to look the same. That's it. Everything else is a method, an option, a preference. There are no rules. There are no other rules. So yeah, that's all I have. Thank you for hanging out with me. It looks like it's 7 o'clock already. I know it's not. But time to go. Cup's empty. Time to go. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. And stitch all the things. Bye.